All corners converge for one aim, one mission.
So the preliminaries are gone. It's on to business.
Witness all 64 matches live in stunning 4K HDR. Every action, every emotion, an experience like never before. Take the game with you anywhere on Astro Go.
This is what the great players do.
And live incredible moments anytime on demand. Titans will meet. Giants will
Nak cakap kena kuat. Dengar tapi kena kuat.
Legion will rise. The FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022.
Sebab,
All
bang,
64
ini bising.
matches
Nak cakap kena kuat.
in 4K HDR only on Astro.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now less than 100 days away for the much anticipated and much anticipated World Cup end of this year, isn't it?
I can't wait for the World Cup. It's the biggest tournament in the entire world for me. Chris, what's your favourite World Cup memory?
Ooh, it's going to be a very difficult one. It's going to be extremely difficult. I definitely love
nampak?
all the action with Shira. I know I'm going away a little bit with football, but also the performances, the music, getting together, everybody. And of course, we always have our viewing parties here in Malaysia. Every single time we have the World Cup, and it's so nice to see everyone just coming together for football.
Exactly. Football unites like nothing else can. It's the power. Scoring against Greece to take England to the World Cup way back in the early 2000s. But most of them, thank you very much.
Memang tak dengar, sorry cakap.
Here today, each and every single person. I know traffic can be bad. I know parking can be terrible. So we really appreciate you being on site with us today.
Yep, just also to our friends of the media, our friends here of Astro, also our two very special guests who's flown in here today in Philadelphia, as well as Mark Schwarzer. They'll be joining us up on stage in just a few more moments, but we actually have a couple of merchandise to give away, don't we, Alice?
So we're both holding one. These are the official license for our Strong League World Cup itself. We're going to
Tak dengar, tak dengar.
3-4 questions.
Sorry, memang tak dengar.
First hand up, we'll bring a mic to you, and then if you answer correctly, the prize is yours. I think I know a question. I'm going to start off really easy. First hand up. Who are the current...
Tak dengar, dia dengar jauh sebab sini bising.
Okay.
Sebab sini bising. Dengar.
This is an easy question. If you don't get this right...
It's France.
Are you sure it's France?
Yes, of course.
And not Germany?
No.
Not Argentina?
No.
France is correct. The prize is yours. Congratulations.
Mana dengar?
And I'm sure there's a lot of England fans here in the crowd. Hands up, who's a big England fan? Okay, there's a couple of England fans here. Who can tell me who is
In 15
the
seconds.
captain of England? There you go, I'm going to go to this gentleman at the end.
Come,
We're back, boys. We're back.
warriors from all corners converge for one aim, one mission.
So the preliminaries are gone. It's on for the business.
Witness all 64 matches live in stunning 4K HDR.
Oh, I don't believe this!
Every action, every emotion, an experience like never before. Take the game with you anywhere on Astro Go
This is what the great players do.
and live incredible moments anytime on demand. Titans will meet. Giants will defend. A new legion will rise.
Is this a moment?
The FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. All 64 matches. All live in 4K HDR. Only on Astro.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now less than 100 days away for the much anticipated and much anticipated World Cup. And of this year, isn't it?
I can't wait for the World Cup. It is the biggest tournament in the entire world for me. Quick, what's your favorite World Cup memory?
Ooh, it's going to be a very difficult one. It's going to be extremely difficult. I definitely love all the action with Shakira. I know I'm going away a little bit with football, but also the performances, the music, getting together, everybody. And of course, we always have our viewing parties here in Malaysia every single time. We have the World Cup, and it's so nice to see everyone just coming together for football, Adam.
Exactly. Football unites like nothing else can. It's the power of sport. My favorite memory, Beckham scoring against Greece to take England to the World Cup way back in the early 2000s. But first and foremost, thank you very much for coming and joining us here today, each and every single person. I know traffic can be bad. I know parking can be terrible, so we really, really, really appreciate you being on site with us today.
Yeah, just also to our friends of the media, our friends here of Astro, also our two very special guests who's flown in here today in Philip Koku, as well as Mark Schwarzer. They'll be joining us up on stage in just a few more moments, but we actually have a couple of merchandise to give away, don't we, Adam?
Yes, so we're both holding one. These are the official licensed products from the World Cup itself. We're going to ask maybe 3-4 questions. First hand up, we'll bring a mic to you, and then if you answer correctly, the prize is yours. I think I got a question. I'm going to start off really easy. First hand up, who are the current reigning champions? Oh yeah, okay, there. This is an easy question. If you don't get this right,
It's France.
are you sure it's France?
Yes, of course.
And not Germany?
No.
Not Argentina?
No.
France
No
is
chance.
correct. The prize is yours. Congratulations.
And I'm sure there's a lot of England fans here in the crowd. Hands up, who's a big England fan? Okay, there's a couple of England fans here. Who can tell me who is the captain of England? Well, there you go. I'm going to go to this gentleman at the end because he's wearing an England jersey himself.
It's a retro England jersey too. I love it.
So who's the captain for England?
It's Harry Kane.
Harry Kane is correct. There you go. I'll pass you one myself.
Now, it can't all be about the European teams. I know it's been 2 decades since the South American team won it, but which country has won the World Cup the most times? Quick, hands up. Which country? You can't answer. You're not allowed. You're wearing one of the official shirts. Yes. Yes, sir. Oh, we'll bring a mic to you. Which country has won the World Cup the most? Fun? Mauritius? Brazil! Okay, Brazil is correct. Congratulations, the prize is yours. And I love the jersey too, by the way.
Well, just to follow up on that question, since we're talking about Brazil, right? Our final question for today to give out our official merchandise for the World Cup. Then how many World Cups have Brazil won? Now we know they've won the most. How many have they won? We'll go to this gentleman right here who raised his hand.
5 times.
5 times. 5 World Cups. That is correct. They have won the most and they have won 5 times in total. Congratulations to all of our winners here today. It's going to be such an exciting day today because we are just kicking off the launch for the quest for the World Cup. But also we have special guests, as I've mentioned, here with us.
Because no one cares about seeing us. I know we're just sort of talking. You want us to get on the show. So I tell you what, I'm going to walk up onto the stage. I'm going to stand by my chair here so we can officially invite the 3 special guests to come up and join us.
Yeah, first and foremost, we'd like to invite Mr. Ewan Smith, of course, is the Group COO and CEO of TV of Astro. We'd also like to invite, ladies and gentlemen, Philip Koku and Mark Schwarzer.
Very good, thank you, sir. Come and take a seat. Ewan, you're in the middle. You're in the middle. Excellent. First and foremost, Ewan lives in Malaysia. I live in Malaysia. Michelle lives in Malaysia. Philip, you don't. Mark, you don't. When did you fly in to our country?
This morning.
This morning. Are you tired? Are you okay?
It was quite a journey, but happy to be here.
We're very happy to have you here. Mark?
Yeah, also this morning, yeah.
This morning as well. Well, thanks for taking the time. We'll get you a coffee for free after this, okay? Coffee on me.
But of course, I think everyone is so excited for the World Cup that's happening end of this year. It's going to be a very different World Cup because not only is it going to be in the Middle East, Mark, but because it's in the middle of your normal European season, isn't it?
It certainly is, and I think for the World Cup, obviously, it's a very different feel being in the middle of winter for Europe. The country, obviously, being a small country, all the stadiums in close proximity. I think the fans' access will be the first time you'll probably be able to actually watch 2 games in one day. which is pretty incredible. And I think the teams will benefit from it. The countries will benefit from it because the players won't be exhausted.
Can I ask, what's your favorite World Cup memory, Philip? Either as a fan or as a player?
Well, as a player, for me it's the '98 tournament in France when I played the World Cup and scored my first goal against South Korea. For me personally, as a player, that's to play on that level and score a goal was
Special.
Was very special. I have to be honest that in the same tournament I missed a penalty in the semi-final against Brazil.
I wasn't going to mention that.
So we have highs and lows in
Yeah.
football, but that's part of the sport.
Yeah. Mark?
For me, it has to be 2006 with Australia. We qualified for the first time in 32 years. So our opening game was against Japan, who's become one of our nemesis, one of our biggest rivals in Asian football. But it's a friendly one and a very healthy one. And to win that game, to score our first ever goals at World Cups as well, which was amazing.
Ewan, what about yourself? Growing up as a fan, current day, what's the number one memory you have of the World Cup?
I was, obviously I was -2 at the time because it was the Russian linesman's call in the 1966 World Cup, which everybody in my family just talked about because it was the event. So probably it's that, even though I wasn't around.
They think it's all over. It is now 66. Classic.
Exactly.
Well, let's talk about this World Cup then. I mean, France has got a big task in their hand trying to defend the World Cup title. Of course, Brazil being the only one who's ever won back-to-back World Cups. Who would you say are your favorites then for this tournament, Mark?
I think we could talk about any one of 10 countries that are potential to win the World Cup. Obviously, France are there. You can never write off Argentina as long as Lionel Messi's still around. I think Brazil, Germany, England, the Netherlands. There's so many countries. Spain. I couldn't even pinpoint one, but I'm going to say my heart is probably more. Obviously, I'd like Australia to do well, but I'm not going to say they're going to be winning the World Cup. But I think for me, I think a slight underdog, even though I mentioned them as one of those teams, is Germany. I think under Hansi Flick, the way that they're performing and the way they've gotten together, they are a danger.
Okay, there's a slight bias here. Where were your parents born, Mark?
Maybe in Germany.
Do you speak fluent German?
I do, yes.
Yeah, there's a bias there, which is why you're saying Germany.
Well, I've got my journalist or my analytical side of the hat on, and I do think Germany are a genuine threat or a genuine potential of winning the World Cup.
What did Lineker say? Players kicking the ball around for 90 minutes and the Germans win?
Pretty much so, yeah.
Yeah. Philip, can I ask also, we talked about Brazil, but it's been 20 years since a South American team won the World Cup. Do you think this could be the year?
Yeah, it could be. I agree with Mark about potential winners. There are a lot of countries that are able to win the World Cup because the differences between countries are not so big anymore. So you need a really strong team and a constant performance in a short period of time to win it. Probably the last chance for Messi with Argentina, so it's a big moment.
Yeah.
But also for Brazil, the pressure on them to win the World Cup is so big.
And Ewan, semi-final 2018, 2020 final. I'm talking about England. Can they go the final step? Will Gareth Southgate be the man?
I can't see it. I'd like to sit here and tell you that yes, but we have a history of doing really badly when the pressure's on us the most. So I think you find that England suddenly get to the kind of stage and they just about get there and then they bottle. So I don't think it will be them. I'm going to go for the Netherlands because I think Germany's a good team. Germany's a good bet. I think that the Netherlands, if they get their act together and get running as a team, I think what you find with the World Cup is it's not really about the stars. The stars don't always shine. Maradona's the exception probably. So it depends who gets that kind of like that momentum. I think if Spain and Germany come out of that group of death that they're in, I think they might have that momentum and might get going. But I'm going to go for the outside of the Netherlands just because I like obviously Van Dijk. Obviously.
But Adam, you watch England win one game and all of a sudden it's coming home again, right? We all know that.
Yeah. That happens all the time.
Yeah, sorry, Michelle.
No, we have to ask Philip then what he thinks of how Netherlands' prospects are this tournament round. I mean, under Frank de Boer, there was a lot of negativity amongst Dutch fans, but under Louis van Gaal, is there a different atmosphere?
Well, the atmosphere in the Netherlands is you could compare it with maybe England. They win 1 or 2 games, they win the World Cup easily, but one bad game, and it's extreme. And I think now the players are a little bit more mature. The core of the team, they play with big teams in Europe. I think that's important. The Dutch league it's okay, but to have only players playing the Dutch league in the national team will be difficult to win the World Cup. But now the balance within the team quality, and the age of the players, I think it could be a good moment. For me, they're not the favorite, but it's possible.
Yeah, Louis van Gaal's army will all be shouting that if they do well. I need to know, though, when it comes to Astro, how are we as a company approaching the World Cup? Because everybody's going to be watching this. Everybody.
So this is obviously my first World Cup at Astro. The buzz that we have, given that 100-ish days to go still, the buzz we already have is fantastic. The amount of love and care that has gone around creating the videos and everything is the best that I have seen in my 2 and a bit years in the company now. And obviously, we have all 64 games, right? There's nobody else in Malaysia that has all 64 games. 37 of them are going to be exclusive, only on Astro. So if you want to watch England versus Wales, I'm not sure that you would, but if you want to watch England versus Wales, or if you want to watch the Netherlands play Senegal, or you want to watch South Korea play Portugal, the only place you can do that in the group games is obviously on Astro. And we're the only place you can see them all in 4K. But we also, first time ever, we've also got them in HDR. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen HDR, high dynamic range, but it really just elevates the experience even more above 4K. And we've got all the games doing exactly that. We've got the 37 exclusive games on 3 channels. We're going to put 3 channels live on air, 2 HD, 1 UHD, the 4K channel. And then we've got all this fantastic stuff. So, because it's in Qatar, sometimes you might be asleep for some of the games, no problem. The Ultravox does play from start for you. Or you can just record it and then you can watch it on Astro Go the following morning. I think in terms of the viewing experience, I've worked in Sky, I've worked down in Foxtel, I've worked in Fox in the US, yeah. The viewing experience you're going to get from Astro is second to none. It's going to be a fantastic experience. We're going to have these awesome commentators, and we're going to have these awesome hosts, aren't we? So yes.
I just ask questions, that's all I do, nothing else.
We're going to have these awesome hosts that really know their stuff, and the whole thing's going to sparkle. And I'm just looking forward to it massively. I cannot wait for the middle of November.
What is it then? What is the quest for the World Cup?
So we've built around the theme of Qatar, so sand and quest across the desert, etc. So the first part of the quest is a roadshow. So you'll be seeing, this is the start, but all the way around key cities across Malaysia, of course, the next 4 weeks, you'll be seeing us taking the quest around the country, which is really giving, just getting the hype going, getting fans a chance to win some fantastic prizes, to really get the buzz going around. And then when we get into the World Cup proper, there's going to be this proper treasure hunt sort of effect. So more on social media to follow, but we're going to have this huge money can't buy type prizes, lots of great stuff going on, just getting the hype and getting, people to really jump into the experience on Astro.
I'm looking forward to it already. I mean, ultimately, it's just transferring the superb Premier League coverage we have into the world's biggest tournament.
There you go.
Even better.
100%.
Yeah, because I was up till 5 or 6 watching the matches, some on my phone, some on the TV. It was a great viewing experience personally for me as well. Okay, final couple of questions concerning the World Cup. Who's your player to watch?
For me, Mbappé from France.
Pardon? Mbappe. Mark?
Well, I'm going to stick to Germany. Jamal Musiala.
But he's young. He's really young. You think
He
it's
is very
time?
young, and I think he's grown in the last 2 years, 3 years at Bayern Munich, and also now with the German national team. And I think, again, I'll say that man, Hansi Flick, has made an incredible difference to Germany and also to him.
You love Hansi Flick.
I do. I think he's done if you look at the record when he took over at Bayern Munich, where they were, and then when he took over and what he was able to accomplish with that same team that Niko Kovac struggled with is pretty remarkable.
I'm interested in Ewan's response because he hasn't tipped England to win the World Cup. But who's your player to watch, bearing that in mind?
Oh, well, look, it's a swan song of his career, so I think you'll find that Ronaldo will do something spectacularly newsworthy at some point in the tournament. It couldn't be otherwise. But as far as our guys, if they play Sterling behind Keane like I like them to, I think Sterling will probably do some really good things. I think he'll, he's had a couple of tough years at Man City. Didn't quite make the first team. Now he's at Chelsea. They're stuttering. I think this is the stage where Sterling could remind everybody that he is proper world class.
Okay.
Well, just one final one from me then. We spoke about favourites earlier. What about dark horses for the tournament? Who do you foresee to be some of the dark horses to watch out?
Well, that's a really tough question. I'm trying to rack my brain right now. Look, I think when you look at, I look at the group Australia's in, for example, France, Denmark. I think Denmark are a side that one has to be very cautious of. I think there are some very quality players. Eriksen back playing again is very key. I think he's slowly starting to get to that elite level again. I thought he was exceptional at Brentford. Now at United, he's starting to find his feet, as with the rest of the players. I think Denmark is a team you've got to be careful of.
Ewan, who's your dark horse then?
Senegal. Why not? Yeah?
Sadio Mane,
Sadio, exactly. Yeah? The people that see me do this a lot realise that everything ends up back at Liverpool with me. So that would be awesome if our African team could really carry it through and we could see them to the latter stages. I personally would love that.
Yeah, I would agree in an African team like Senegal or Morocco or a lot of quality players, but they seem to struggle to act as a team throughout the tournament. But the latest Africa Cup, I saw some games of them, and they have quality within the team. They can surprise, yeah.
Okay, Mark, you mentioned his name, Ronaldo. So I'm just going to... Oh, sorry, Ewan did. Look, who are the two biggest faces? Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. I just need to know from the three of you gents, who do you feel is better positioned to have a stronger tournament? Bearing in mind, Copa America champions, they won the World Listum or whatever it was recently as well. So Argentina for you, or Portugal will have a better tournament? Philip?
I think Argentina.
Argentina?
Well, it's difficult because for both players, the pressure will be on to get the maximum out of this tournament. But I think the vibe in Argentina is good around Messi and the team. So I expect a lot of them in this tournament.
Let's not forget he's actually played in a final before as well, not obviously winning it. Mark?
Yeah, I have to agree. I think Argentina, Messi's playing week in, week out. Ronaldo, I don't think will. Only one will tell whether or not that's a benefit or be against him. But I still think Messi is probably in a better place.
He got 2 assists last night, by the way, for PSG. I know you were in the plane, you might not realise.
No, I didn't know, but he's not a bad player, is he?
No, Messi. Ewan, are you team Ronaldo or are you team Messi? The eternal debate.
I'll do full flush of Argentina. I think Ronaldo's great, but I think he carries the team as a one-man band, whereas Messi can have a not firing day and the Argentinian team can work around him. So I don't think there's any doubt that Argentina will have a good tournament as long as the 2 or 3 people around Messi are giving them the service.
Also, just looking at the World Cup, it's falling right in the middle of the season. I don't feel it's talked about enough. Do you think this is going to have a knock-on effect in other competitions? Because obviously you're joining us in the studio for the Premier League this weekend, and Haaland and Salah aren't playing at the World Cup, but great stars, they're going to be refreshed. Can it have any sort of effect, Mark?
I think it will, yeah. I think all the players that are playing in the Premier League, certainly, and there's a lot of obviously international players, they will benefit from a mid-season World Cup. Because traditionally it's after a long season of playing in the Premier League, European football, cup competition, that a lot of like England and other teams that have a lot of Premier League players in it struggle a little bit more.
Speaking of tiredness in long seasons, for the qualifiers for the World Cup, didn't you have to fly from Australia to South America and then back to Australia?
No, we ended up playing in Qatar. Because of COVID, they played all the games in Qatar, the last playoff games. So we played UAE in an off game, and also played against Peru in that final qualifier. I mean, Australia, just as an example, Australia played during COVID, 16 out of their 20 games were away from home to qualify for the World Cup. So that was remarkable. It was very impressive.
Wow, okay. What about yourself, Philip? The timing of the World Cup and the effect it could have on other players and tournaments and competitions?
Well, I think indeed that the players will be benefiting from the tournament in December, because at the end of a long season, it's sometimes hard to even make a better performance in the World Cup. And now it's in the middle of the season. I think the biggest challenge will be that the preparation for the national team to prepare for the tournament, that's much shorter period than if it's after the season. So that will be a challenge to get all the players together, play a friendly game, travel, and then start the World Cup. But for the players, I think it's positive.
Can I just ask, this might seem like a stupid question, but during a World Cup, you're playing every 3-4 days, whatever it might be. Is it boring? In between the matches, I mean?
No. Being in a World Cup is not boring. I don't think. Obviously, you're together for a long period of time. Like Philip will tell you as well, you are 2-3 weeks before the tournament even begins. Then you're there a week to 10 days before your first game. It's more about the anticipation of that very first game, the preparation that leads up to that game and getting into the tournament. That's the bit that you're a bit anxious about, you're a little bit on edge about. But the tournament itself, no, it's not boring at all. It's amazing.
Normally you play like 3 or maybe 4 friendly games, but you're waiting for only one thing. That's the tournament.
Yeah, but in between the matches, I mean, what are you doing? Playing snooker or video games? I don't know.
Well, there will be training, of course.
Yes.
You analyze the game, you watch videos, you watch the opponents, a lot of football on television. So if you love the game, you also watch different games. And then within 3-4 days, sometimes you have to travel again. It's unlikely in Qatar, but in some World Cups you have to travel. So those days in between the games, they fly by.
Yeah, you sound like a manager. No wonder why you went into management, analysing the game, watching all the matches that has to be done. Mark was probably playing snooker.
No. I was very much focused on the games, and very much that. It's the management putting on all these extra technical sessions, video analysis, and always making sure, though, there was time to watch the games if you wanted to watch the games. So, mostly revolving around having the group together. You know, continuing with that camaraderie, with the work ethic of being a unit, working together all the time, and also watching the games together.
Okay, Ewan, I've got something to pass to you. I believe you want to give something away?
I would love to give something away. I have 2 special prizes here. And I've got 2 questions. Before I do the 2 questions, the public service announcement. Any of you who don't have the sports pack yet, so the sports pack gives you unfettered access to the entire 64 games, but also you've got a huge amount of other stuff in there, the F1's on at the moment, EPL, etc., etc. We're doing a special online. So for the first 6 months of any 24-month contract for a sports pack, you can get it for $59.99. First 6 months, $59.99, which is an absolute steal. You know, my team had to push me very, very, very hard to get down to that kind of price point. But for anyone who hasn't got sports pack, go grab it, because that's where the best one will be. Best World Cup coverage is going to be right there. So let me get rid of these 2. Question for you. First one. How many exclusive games did we say Astro had of the 64 at this World Cup?
Exclusive.
How many exclusive? I'm going to have to come down to you, aren't I?
We have a mic going.
Excellent.
Right.
How many, my friend?
Is it 4?
4.
Exclusive.
Exclusive games.
If I'm right, no?
No. Pass the mic on. Unlucky, my friend. Next one. Man here.
37.
Good man. Fantastic. We have 37 exclusives. Well done, my friend. Congratulations. And I've got one more to go here. So how many dedicated channels are my extremely clever technical team going to put up for the World Cup? How many exclusive channels am I going to have for the World Cup? The guy at the back in what might be a Brazil shirt, but I can't see from here.
In yellow, the
guy in the yellow at the back. He's the first one I saw.
3 channel.
3 channels, good man, congratulations. Come and get your prize, my friend. What was it? It's not. Welcome. Back to you, sir.
Can I just ask about the pack itself, the sports pack, because it's more than just the World Cup, like you rightly mentioned. On Sunday, I was at home, so I was watching the Formula One and the football. And it's just so, Max Verstappen is mental. No. And then we got the World Cup, we got the Premier League, and I was watching Barcelona, your former club, play. It's an overload of sports, it seems.
I don't think you can get better value. I've done this gig in a few countries, and I think that, 60 ringgit for your first 6 months, for 24 months, The 60 ringgit, the amount of sport that we have on. I mean, I was watching Spo TV last night. I was watching the US Open, right? That's all part of the pack. There are 11 channels in there. 11 channels for 60 ringgit, which for you guys is about 11 quid. 13 euros, right? That's
a month.
A month. That's what we're offering as Astro. Anyone that doesn't have it needs to go rush out and get it. And every week you can see these smiling faces of these fantastic hosts along with some brilliant sport.
And I just want to add, people sometimes don't realize in Malaysia, we have it all on one platform. All the Premier League matches, all 380 matches throughout the course of a season on one platform. On top of the World Cup and all the other sports we just mentioned. I think it's an amazing privilege to be able to say that.
Yeah, and for football fans in Malaysia, as well as I mentioned, with tournament football like these, it's always about the atmosphere and the viewing parties that we always have at Astro. Are we expecting a little bit more on-ground activation? We have football legends here today with us. Perhaps we might have some football legends coming down during the World Cup?
I think we might have a few. Yeah, I can't give you specific details at the moment because that would spoil the surprise. But we have, again, Astro customers, we're going to have viewing parties. We'll take over some theatres. We'll take over cinemas. We'll run the whole event. The whole thing is about getting the buzz up, getting the noise up. So we're going to be doing all that. And of course, just a reminder, there is the treasure hunt going on. So get on astro.com.my, get on the social media platforms that we run, because there's going to be prizes galore.
I'm looking forward to seeing Ewan out and about. So for those who didn't realise, he mentioned he likes Van Dijk. Ewan's a Liverpool fan. So if there's any Liverpool screening, Ewan's there, front and centre. If it's a Manchester United game, crickets, I don't see you. So you'll be out and about as well?
I will, 100%. I was in Penang, in Queensbury Mall just 2 weeks ago, launching one of our first ever experience store. That was an awesome day. We had all the we had badminton legends and all the kids' characters, etc. It was great. There's another experience store coming. I'm just looking at Julia now, who's going to get it up and running by the time that we get to there, I'm hoping, before we get to the World Cup. It's all part of the experience. It's all part of telling people about new Astro, about the fantastic coverage we have, about the brilliant box we have. I'm just looking forward to it. The more people I can meet, the better.
Yeah. Plenty of fun.
Yep, of course. I hope all of the answers, having our guests up on stage with us, have got you guys excited for the FIFA World Cup end of this year in Qatar. It's going to be truly quite an amazing tournament. I want to thank all of these three gentlemen being up on stage and answering all of our questions. So once again, many thanks to Ewan, to Mark, and to Philip. Let's kick on with the launch, shall we, Adam?
Yeah, so I have to kindly ask the gents to head back down to your seats, please, because we do need to clear the staging area once again. But ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for the three guests on with us. Thank you very much for that. I also need to clear the stage. I'm going to stand at the side.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, and of course this is the moment we've all been waiting for, officially launching the quest for the World Cup.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the quest for the World Cup. Whether you're an avid football fan, a casual one, or even a non-football fan, jump onto the bandwagon to experience the hype and thrill that the World Cup brings. World Cup, Astro presents the quest for the World Cup. Isn't simply a title or a name, but a relevance behind the journey, each player representing their countries. The tears, the celebrations, the cheers, the stadiums, the chants. Every single moment, we are here to invite you to come on this journey, this quest for glory, for the elusive World Cup. It's a journey you won't want to miss, an experience you won't forget, and a quest that is unquestionably one of the greatest memories you'll have this year. The quest for the World Cup.
Every 4 years, a great quest takes place. Warriors from all corners converge to test themselves in battle. Titans will clash. Giants will fall. Heroes will rise. And that is the quest for the World Cup.
Is that it? Who will be the champion?
We're about to find out. Witness every battle, duel, and turning point. Until one remains to earn a place in history. Catch all 64 matches only on Astro.
Feel the magic in the air. Levez les mains en l'air. Allez, allez, allez. Feel the magic in the air. Levez les mains en l'air. Allez, allez, allez. Feel the magic in the air.
Magic System, Red One, Shaoki. Comme d'habitude on est calé, comme toujours ça va aller. On te met l'ambiance à gogo, tous ensemble on fait le show.
On t'invite à la magie, y a pas de raccourci. Oublie tes soucis, c'est bien faire la folie.
On t'invite à la magie, y a pas de raccourci. Oublie tes soucis. Oh, 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 oh. C'est pas seulement pour les bobos, nous on vient dans nos mambo. Mon ami, si tu as le niveau, rejoins-nous pour t'enjailler.
On t'invite à la magie, y a pas de raccourci. Oublie tes soucis et viens faire la folie.
On t'invite à la magie, y a pas de raccourci. Oublie tes soucis. Oh, 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 oh. Magic System, Red One, Shaoki.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for the dancers. We would now like to re-invite back onto the stage our three guests, Ewan, Mark and Philip, to come to the central area right here. And any photographers, please can you get yourselves ready? Perfect. One moment. Okay. Mark, you want to come on this side? Philip, I'm going to position you here. We're going to unveil what's in here. So Ian, if you come to the central part, is that okay? Okay, perfect. So we're going to ask all three of you to come up, and Michelle's going to count you down to finally unveil it.
All right, gentlemen, are you ready? On my count, in 3, 2, 1.
Oublie tes soucis. Oh, 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 oh.
We're just going to take the pictures, of course. Okay. We got some of the bunting things to hold as well.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you all for joining us here today on behalf of Astro for the official launch of the Quest for the World Cup. As you've heard it from our guests here up on stage, it's going to be a very
coffee. Careful. Okay. So at this point, we just have to follow what the photographers want. All right.
So big smiles. Let's have a go at screaming your best possible the quest for the World Cup. Are you guys ready? Yep, towards
this camera here.
There you go. All right, in 3, 2, 1. The quest for the World Cup.
One more time. Okay, one more. Last one. 3, 2, 1. The quest for the World Cup. Perfect. The photographers all okay? You got what you need? Okay. Oh, one more. Okay.
The magic in the air, feel the magic in the air,
perfect. Thank you very much. And thank you to the 3 guests for joining us on the stage, of course. We will be having a press conference at a restaurant in the back.
Yep, so to all of our friends of the media who will be joining us for the press conference, it'll be over at Restaurant Al Arab towards my right. Once again, the press conference will be held at Restaurant Al Arab. So Mark, Ewan, as well as Philip will be joining us for that one.
It'll be directly behind, so where Jollibee is, walk past and through that. Again, Restaurant Del Arab, we'll see you there. But to everyone else, thank you very much for joining us here today. Thank you for coming, thank you for giving up your time to help us launch the quest for the World Cup.
And I hope you guys are excited. Once again, the quest for the World Cup.
We will be in the restaurant for the press conference in the next 2 to 3 minutes after a quick series of pictures.